Right now, in real life, it's actually New Year's Eve, and I was just reflecting back on this past year, thinking about how this time last year and the beginning of 2021, I was just mentally at an absolute low point in my life, and things are totally different now. I know it might not sound like it because I'm tired, but my life has entirely changed around this past year. So many good things have happened, and I just wanted to hop on the bike and talk to you guys about how sometimes you gotta go through the bullshit and the pain to get to what's better on the other side.
Perfect.
Welcome back to Life of Birch. This is Birch, and I know it's a little bit weird that we're taking the 300 out, but it's the only bike that's here right now, because the 1100 and the stunt bike are both at the garage. But like I said, it is New Year's Eve, so I'm going to the grocery store to get some steaks for dinner for us. The idea of this video is just talking about how it gets better. Lots of you guys have kind of seen my journey going through all the ups and downs that I've had over the past couple years, and at the beginning of this year, like I said, I was just really at like a mental and emotional low point of my life. It had only been a couple months since my ex-wife decided to leave me, and I was just still kind of coping with all of that and not really coping with it in the best ways. And I was just thinking about all this because I was thinking, like, it's New Year's Eve. This time last year I was just like totally sad and gearing up to have like 30 or 40 people over my house for this big New Year's party, and I was really just doing it to kind of like fill a void and not feel lonely. I think I remember like I was already hungover because I had gotten too drunk the night before, and I didn't even want to have people over, but I felt like I still had to. And I just woke up the first day of this year just feeling so gross and hungover again, and I hadn't fallen asleep until like 5 in the morning because everyone was at my house partying. And just thinking back to like how icky I felt then. What is that? The new Veloster? That thing looks sick, actually. Anyway, thinking back to how I felt then and how I feel now is just so crazy. I don't even know how to describe it. So I figured we'd do a quick little recap on all the crazy stuff that happened this year and just remind you guys that things do get better. Even when it seems like it won't, it will. I really hope a car pulls up behind me so that nobody sees the fact that I don't have a license plate on this because it fell off on the highway and I haven't gotten a new one yet. Okay, good. Tesla pulling up behind me. Not trying to get arrested on New Year's Eve. Anyway, so let's talk about all the crazy stuff that happened this year. I gotta say the biggest one is like looking back, I started this year with like 4,000 subscribers and we're ending the year with almost 21,000 of you guys. So like I think that's the biggest thing, is just the crazy little community that we've built here. Don't get me wrong, I set big goals for this year as far as what I wanted the channel to be, and I always believed that I could do it, but actually getting to this point just feels crazy. In 1 year I got 16,000 subscribers or something. We're ending the year with almost 21,000 subscribers. It's nuts to me, and I could not be doing any of this without all you guys. So that's one of the biggest things for me. And kind of piggybacking off of that, I did my first big meetup. Not even first big meetup, first meetup. I didn't expect it to be big. I thought it would be like 5 of you guys. Like 40 people showed up. That is just crazy to me. The love and support that you guys give the channel, and just seeing everybody there and like seeing the community in person was just wild to me. So I just feel like that is obviously one of the big highlights of this year, is just the growth that this channel and this community has had, and being able to see that in person at the meetup. So I'm super excited to see how much bigger this next meetup is this coming year. I'm actually kind of scared of it, honestly. And then as far as other big stuff that happened, like it's just crazy thinking back. I don't know, this year didn't feel as crazy to me as it actually was until I'm reflecting back on it. Like I bought a freaking house this year. I got divorced this year. I bought 4 motorcycles this year. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year that it would be possible for me to buy a house on my own, I would not have believed you. Like I had to make it happen one way or another, because it was the house that me and my ex-wife lived in together, and then once the divorce and everything was happening, I had to get it put just in my name. But I never would have thought that it would actually be possible with literally like none of my YouTube income could count. They could only count my server income, and still made it happen. The fact that I'm a homeowner on my own is crazy. Okay, good, there's no cop in there because I don't have a license plate. But the fact that I was able to make that happen is just nuts to me. It doesn't feel real. And then thinking back to the fact that, oh, I'm totally forgetting the fact that I gave away a motorcycle also. Shout out to Les, the guy who won the Rebel 500. But like I started this year with, what bikes did I have? I had my VFR 800 and my Rebel 500. And within the first couple months of the year, both of those bikes were already gone. It ended up playing out perfectly to where I literally sold sold my VFR 800 the day before I picked up my Rebel 1100, and then I ended up doing the raffle. The raffle filled up for the Rebel 500 right before I had to get my 1100. Just like the perfect timing of that was crazy to me. So to think back, the fact that I started this year with a Rebel 500 and a VFR 800, and then since then I have gotten a Rebel 1100, the FZ07 stunt bike, the Grom, and then technically this, even though Nina did buy it from me. I guess that'll be the big announcement. I bought it for her, and then some things happened to where she had the money to make it happen on her own, and she bought it. So she is now officially the owner of this, but I still count it as one of the 4 bikes that I bought this year. I gotta open the visor. I cannot breathe in here. Still recovering from the Rona. I know I've only like talked about like the material things so far, but I don't know, it's just wild to me. Like the fact that I have all these keys hanging up and just get to pick which bike to take out is crazy to me. But anyway, I gotta go get steak. Please hold. And we are back at it, ladies and gentlemen. I have secured the bag. I got 2 nice ribeyes in there, got some asparagus and some rice. Ignore the fact that the rice is the kind that you just microwave or whatever, but you know, if I'm cooking ribeyes and asparagus, I don't want to have to waste time making rice also, so it is what it is. But anyway, let's jump straight back into it. Like I said, lots of the stuff I've talked about so far has been like things that you can buy or like worldly goods, whatever. And while it's really cool that I got all of that stuff, it's really not what it's about. For one thing, like I said, I started this year just so like mentally and emotionally taxed that like, hopefully you guys can tell now, oh, there's water there. I was taking that turn a little too sharp. Hopefully you guys can tell that I'm just like so much happier now. It is insane. I'm literally out here chasing my dreams, and not only chasing them, but like reaching them thanks to you guys. Speaking of which, that just reminded me, I wish that I had kept recording when I got off the bike, because I ran into a couple kids that were like riding their mountain bikes underneath the parking garage of Safeway, and ended up chatting with them for a while about like TikTok and YouTube, and they were showing me videos of the tricks they can do on their bikes and stuff like that. And it's just so cool, because that's why I love riding motorcycles, because it like brings me back to that feeling of when I was a kid, like hanging out doing wheelies on mountain bikes with my friends, you know. I love it. But yeah, anyway, I'm out here chasing my dreams. I'm so much happier than I was at the beginning of the year, and it wasn't easy. Like, I'm not saying that if you guys are sad and depressed that just out of nowhere things will get better, because it was a lot of work to get to the mind state that I'm in now. But if you put in the time and the work and do everything you can to get better, it does get better. And you know, as we're moving off the topic of like actual possessions or whatever, I would be totally remiss to not mention the fact that one of the craziest things that happened this year is that I happened to meet Nina by chance at the grocery store. For those of you guys who haven't watched the channel before, Nina is my girlfriend, and like I said, I started this year going through just the shittiest divorce ever. Not the shittiest, I'm sure people have gone through much worse divorces, but for me, it was the worst thing that I've ever been through. And I kind of took some time to just really focus on myself and just work on who I am as a person, and really just making sure I didn't lose my freaking mind through the divorce is what I'm saying. And then out of nowhere, randomly, I met my girlfriend Nina at the grocery store, because she stalked me outside in the parking lot and asked about my Rebel. That's the house that I grew up in. That's why I decided to take a quick little lap through this neighborhood. I wanted to see how it was doing. Looks like it's doing good. But yeah, I wish I was kidding. It sounds like some kind of like YouTube like plot line or whatever that somebody would make up, but literally I met my girlfriend because I was at the grocery store getting some food before work, and I came out and she had seen me walking through the grocery store with my helmet, saw my motorcycle, and she'd always wanted to learn how to ride, so she waited for me and asked me about my Rebel. And the rest is history. Now I'm riding her motorcycle. Just saying, that is crazy. The fact that I met her because she saw my Rebel 1100 and she was talking about how she's always wanted a Rebel 250, and within only like, actually come to think of it, tomorrow is our 3-month anniversary. So within just 3 months of dating, we already have her own motorcycle that she has, that she's learning how to ride. Life is crazy, guys. Honestly, like, I know it's cliche, but everything happens for a reason, and sometimes you gotta go through the bullshit and the pain to get to what's better on the other side. And it's just crazy because like I set all these goals for myself at the beginning of the year, and like they seemed so unattainable, but I guess that's like the crazy thing is like you got to set big goals that scare you, because if not, you're gonna be complacent. And I set crazy goals at the beginning of the year of like, I wanted YouTube to pay my mortgage by the end of the year, and at the time that was crazy because I was only making like $200, maybe $300 a month off of YouTube, and I actually hit that goal by like April or May, something crazy like that. I mean, at the time my mortgage was $1,500. It was just crazy. Oh, I can go. Okay. revving the piss out of this little 300. But yeah, it's just crazy. I set that goal thinking it was totally unattainable by the end of the year, and I ended up hitting it within the first few months. And I set the goal of 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm about to hit 21. And I set the goal to just stop being a miserable piece of shit. And that fortunately happened. So, you know, that's kind of the greatest thing that came out of this year, is just being happy and content with myself again, and just getting back to not giving a what other people think about me. That's something that I think lots of us struggle with, that I struggled with, and I feel like I finally came to terms with this year. I mean, I got my face tattooed. That's something that I've been wanting to do forever, but I was always like, oh, I don't know, like, what will people think of me, and will it mess up my future job opportunities? And then I got to a certain point where I was just like, I don't give a what these people think of me, and if a job doesn't want to hire me because of my face tattoo, that's probably not the kind of people I want to work for anyway. Not to mention, the whole point behind getting a face tattoo is like me finally being like, I don't want a job. I want to ride motorcycles, I want to make content, and I want to inspire people. And having a freaking 9-to-5 or really any job with an actual boss is not going to make that happen. What's going to make that happen is me fully committing to my dreams and just making it happen myself, you know? And that's just a big part of this year, is just finally believing in myself again and getting that like confidence back that I can do whatever the I want to do. And I'm sure there's tons of other just crazy awesome things that I'm forgetting and I'm missing out on, but I'm pulling up back home, so I can't keep rambling. But I just felt kind of like drawn to get on here and talk to you guys about all this stuff, and just remind you that like some of you might be in the same place that I was this time last year, where I literally hated life and did not I don't want to say I didn't want to be alive, but like being alive wasn't the tightest, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I just felt called to get on here and kind of mix in a little recap of the year with some encouragement and positivity, and letting you guys know that even though life may suck ass, it's not gonna suck ass forever. I can promise you that, because this time last year I was under the firm belief that life was gonna suck ass forever, and look at me now. Life doesn't suck ass. Oh my god, I just slipped on the wet curb. I literally thought I was gonna drop this bike. How funny would it be if I just got done saying that life won't suck ass forever, and then I just dropped Nina's bike? That would definitely have sucked. Alright guys, well thanks for listening to me ramble. Hopefully this gave some encouragement and positivity to somebody that needed it. Happy New Year. I could not be doing this without you guys. If you aren't subscribed already, please go ahead and subscribe so I can hit my subscriber goal this coming year of ending the year with 50,000 subscribers. It's not even a goal that I had set yet. That just felt right, so I rolled with it and said it out loud. So now you guys got to hold me accountable. 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I want to go full-time by the end of this year. I don't want to have a job anymore by the end of this year. I want to only be making content for you guys. So let's make that happen. Patreon is a big way, not to like give a plug after like all that positivity and whatever. I don't want it to sound like an ad, but for real, if you guys want to support me, the best way that you can do it is through Patreon, patreon.com/LifeOfBurch. You can subscribe your monthly amount. You get a whole bunch of benefits like early access to videos, exclusive content, all kinds of cool stuff. Link is in the description. Definitely check that out if you want to help me out in that way. Like I said, 50k subscribers by the end of the year, full-time by the end of the year, comfortably. Not like check to check. I mean like full-time. And I think we can do it. No, I don't think I can do it. I know I can do it. None of that negative or neutral self-talk bullshit, guys. Positivity. That is the word for 2022. Positivity. Negativity. We're going in this year positive. Set big goals. Let me know what your goals are in the comments, and I'm going to hold you guys to it also. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Happy New Year. Love you guys. Peace.